This episode of Inside Golf Podcast is brought to you by Inside Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Boston Capital Doral, Steve, on the Hold the Green podcast.
All right, we are live. Tap in, birdie.
All right, Carson Young is here.
I bet LIV gets 28.
Let's go. I bet
You
him
did
at,
too?
I bet him at 25.
Low sevens. I think there's some guys in here we like.
Harris English at 7,300.
Why the fuck would I not bet Rory?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hold the Green podcast with Capper and Twitterless Steve. It's the Valero Texas Open best bets, and we're going to do the LIV preview as well at the end. So all you LIV freaks can hang around to the end, and we'll go over the course and some quick hit bets. Steve, how you doing, buddy? You got a hoodie on. Is it cold where you're at?
It is cold, but I decided I didn't want the windbreaker on for the 90th consecutive show in a row. I was gonna say that. Well, I mean, look at the temperature. I got up to 54 degrees in here right now.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty balmy. But no, we had the cold front come through, and it was like 65 yesterday. It was 35 today, so very healthy for all of everybody's immune systems. But yeah, I am very sick of this winter. It will never end, and I'll never golf again. It's just always going to be cold, and is what it is. So I am going to comment, though. We were talking before the show. Does it always look like that you're my little brother on here, and I just tower over you like this? Like, it seems like I'm extra taller than you today.
Yeah, I think my camera got shifted somehow, and didn't want to mess with it. So, but I mean, look, you're about a foot taller than me in real life, so fucking why not, right?
Yeah, good. What a good boy you are. There you go.
That's right. All right. Well, so we got. I mean, look, we did a pretty extensive show on Sunday. Andy's done his article. I mean, has anything changed for you? I guess on the type of player you're looking for.
No, not really. I mean, I don't think I really expanded too much about what I'm looking for. I think the one thing I noticed, like some of the unique things I did in my model, which you can go to BetSperts right now. You can pull up my model on the rabbit hole there. A couple things I looked at specifically. One, in really difficult conditions of getting up and down from, it's like sand saves, like, because we spent a lot of time talking about how difficult some of these greenside bunkers are. They're very deep below the green. They're awkwardly shaped as well, so you might have to cover a lot of real estate to get to close to the pin coming out of them. So I looked at some bunker play this week in difficult conditions. That kind of helped break some ties in some guys. I also looked at guys' ability to score pretty well on some difficult par fives as well, because these are some of the more difficult par fives on the PGA Tour at TPC San Antonio. But, it's very vital to score on them, because scoring can be a little bit, sometimes a little bit challenging here. But otherwise, though, just looking at kind of the last few winners, Akshay and Corey Connors and Spieth and, even JJ Spawn, it just seemed like, I didn't really look too much with off the tee. You got to drive it well here. But it to me, I don't see a particular type that I would want to discriminate against. So I didn't look at too much about off the tee. Like, if you're a complete mess off the tee, that's a problem. But like, if you're just kind of competent, maybe above average, you're totally fine. I look more just like the approach play, recent approach play. I noticed guys who had been winning here and doing very well had some spike iron weeks coming in. So that was important to me. And also had demonstrated some like spike putting weeks. Like JJ Spawn was not putting very well overall during the year. Had one or two performances, at least, within the last like month or so, where, the putter spiked. Akshay did last year. Spieth did. Even Corey Connors had a decent putting performance of match play before he ended up winning. So just looking at kind of those parameters, guys are just hitting the ball pretty well. Pretty good from over 200 and over 225. That's the range I'm, a key range I'm looking at this week. But yeah, that's really all I'm looking for. So what about you?
Yeah. Not pretty much the same, right? So looking at the weather a little bit, just kind of going to see if maybe the rain's going to make it play a little softer. I'm so sick of talking about fucking weather. So I think I just kind of put it at the back of my mind when I was picking my guys. But yeah, iron play really stuck out to me. Got to be able to get hot with the irons, and you don't have to be a long hitter here based on a lot of the guys who contend here. Spike putter. Now, so I'm glad you pointed out that that sand save in your model, because I didn't see that. I didn't scroll all the way to the end. I'm sure that shocked you that I didn't push it all the way to the end to see all of your percentages.
I
You're a
20. I have like 20 categories.
Yeah, you're a psycho. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too many sometimes. And so now I'll probably dig into that a little bit, because I just put general sand saves. So now this will make me dig in a little more, because I was a little worried about that. Based on all the stuff that we talked about with that. But yeah, I mean, look, I think we're pretty much on the same page with that. Feel like there's some group think out there this week. I'm sure we're going to take part in some of it. I'm trying not to be a lazy take week just because the Masters is next week. I like this tournament, so I'm not trying to look past it. I've tried to filter out all the Masters talk until I get everything done. So, until after Thursday, like, I'm trying not to even think about Augusta.
Why do you like this tournament, by the way?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a happy time in golf. You know what I mean? Like, we're leading up to Augusta. So, and I don't know. I feel like I've done well here. I've done well at the tournament prior. We're just coming out of the Florida swing. This is like the good time in golf. I'm always in a good mood at this time, I feel like.
I don't like this tournament. And I think it's because I don't really like this golf course in particular. Like, there's nothing offensive about it, but it's just a lot of holes just kind of blend together for me, except for like the last maybe 3 holes. But anytime I get to a golf course like that, where I just can't really picture like the difference between like the 5th hole and like the 9th hole, and like it all just kind of blurs together and looks the same. It's the week before the Masters. I constantly watch this tournament and just kind of feel bored watching the players
just
play
waiting.
this place.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. It's like vanilla ice cream. I feel like, of all the golf courses on the PGA Tour, where it's whatever. And it's the week for the Masters. I just want to get there. So I kind of just want to move through this week and hopefully get a winner and move on. I will say this though. And maybe this is going to ruffle some feathers. If I'm given the choice this week between watching the Valero and watching LIV Miami, I'm going to be watching LIV Miami, and I will explain that take once we get to that later in the show.
Yeah, that's fine. And I understand why. I get it. You want to see where those guys are at. It's a better course. I don't know if it's a better course, but
we'll get to that.
You hate this course. It's fine. It doesn't matter. All right. So you want to bring Cam in? We'll play the golf tips checker game. Cam is convinced we're going to get it this week, which means we'll get 4 like we usually do.
Yeah, we can rapid fire through it so y'all can keep moving on. But I think this might be one of the chalkiest weeks we've seen so far as
great
who people are picking.
All right.
Why don't you go first, Capper?
All right, we'll go Lee Hodges.
Lee Hodges is numero uno.
Yeah.
Did we call that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. All right. Can't sneak that by me. All right. Why don't we go Bud Cauley?
Bud Cauley, number 9. There's 9 on here, and I think he's
perfect. I bet 9 guys. So if I go 9 for 9 on all of them,
oh my gosh,
it's great. But hey, listen, Minwoo was what, number 2 on the list last
exactly.
week?
So
This can't be scared of it anymore.
Golf community's getting shopper, right?
Yep.
I'll go Ryan Gerard.
Number 5.
Okay. All right. How about Daniel Berger?
Daniel Berger, number 2.
Oh, we are rolling.
4 of 9.
Gary Woodland.
Gary Woodland, number 3.
Jesus. All right. How about Siwoo Kim?
Siwoo Kim, not on there.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
All right. Strike 1 for me.
I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'll go Corey Connors.
Corey Connors, number 8.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. People really are going chalk this week. All right, let's go down the card a little bit. How about Isaiah Salinda?
Nope.
Getting cute. You're getting cute now, Steve.
Yeah,
I'm not getting cute. I've seen his name float around a lot, although that's only around our parts. So I guess that doesn't speak to the rest of the community.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
All right,
you
strike
get cute
2
on that one.
Okay.
I'll go Tom Hoge.
Tom Hoge, not on there. So strike 1 for Capper.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
How about Sam Stevens?
Sam Stevens, number 4.
There we go. You
So-
How
like
many we
him
got
too.
left?
So hold on, we
Okay.
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. So all we have is 6 and 7.
Okay, so we're doing pretty good.
All right. Keegan.
Keegan, number 7.
Oh,
go.
baby.
Let's go.
Oh,
All right, then you know what?
But now I'm
Okay.
kind of lost.
Well, this guy's around this number. He's been hitting the ball awesome, and he came second last year. Is it Denny McCarthy?
not
Oh,
Denny.
nice.
Oh,
On
all
my
right,
betting
I'm
card
out.
though.
I'm out.
All right. So that was my
You got
next
two.
guess.
You got 2.
I got 2 bullets. Let's go. How far down the board do I want to go? Is it? Oh shit! That's it. This is where I fuck up because the last was Andrew Novak,
No.
community darling.
No.
Okay,
One
who's the last
more.
one?
Come
One
on,
more.
you got it.
What I do? All right. Berger's been said. Cawley's been said. Connors. Decky's not in good form. Actually, Putnam, Perez.
Don't look at the chat.
Okay, I won't look at the chat. I'll keep my eyes on my ranking list here.
All right, clock.
All right, he caught some steam. We'll go JT Poston.
No.
Okay.
No,
Dang
who
it.
was it?
All right, is it Akshay?
You got 8. It's
Oh,
awkward.
I even said him.
Yeah, I was trying not to like make any sudden moves when you said it.
God, this is a challenge. All right,
honestly-
so I have. All right, go ahead.
I know I love Akshay's swing. I could not have told, like, it would have taken me a minute to tell you he was a lefty. I forgot.
Really?
Okay. All right, well, that's
All right,
good.
thanks.
Less than half my card is on the tip chart, so that's all right. I'm doing okay this week. Okay. All right, let's jump right to it. Like we said, we have a lot to cover tonight. Let's we're at the top of the show here. We're gonna spend a little time, kind of going through guys we like, guys we don't like, maybe for some matchup stuff, and then once we get past like 40-1, then we're just gonna go with guys we like, and not spend a ton of time on going back and forth. So let's start right at the top here. We got Ludwig Aubert, 12-1. A guy that you and I had a lot of success betting earlier. We got him right at Torrey Pines, 12-1 this week. Not playing well coming in, but he's had a couple weeks off. So I guess how are you handling him at all this week? Fading him? Bet no, just kryptonite?
No, just ignoring him. Yeah, just ignoring him. Acting like
Okay.
I'm just acting like he's not here. I'm not going to tag him in matchups just because he's too talented. He can turn it on and do it. I definitely think he's focused on next week. Now, look, every golfer who comes out here to play is here to win, right? But I'm not betting him at 12-1. Number's too short. It's just too short, especially in a place where long shots do come in.
Okay, let me ask you a different type of question then. So obviously we got our eyes on the prize with the Masters, right? Coming up. I mean, Ludwig's been pretty sloppy the last couple tournaments. What do you need to see from him this week to maybe buy yourself back into the idea of he can repeat what he did last year, basically?
I think I'm gonna have to see those iron numbers come back a little bit, and I got to see a little better around the green too. But even then, I don't know. He's gonna find it this week. You're not finding it at Augusta, especially after only playing it once.
Okay. I need to see him reduce the sloppiness that I've seen from him. He's had some pretty good stretches of golf, like in the last couple tournaments. And then there will be a 3 or 4 hole stretch where he makes boneheaded mistake after boneheaded mistakes and compounds mistakes. And he can't really do that at Augusta. So if I can see him play kind of like good, tight, clean golf, not necessarily like the best score, but like just eye test as far as solid iron shots, good tee shots, effortless, like pretty much like easy, effortless golf tee to green. I don't necessarily need to see the putts go down. I just want to see just stress-free golf, I think, just with the ball striking and just
I would agree.
cutting down on stupid mistakes. So if I can see that, then I'll feel pretty good about him next week. If not, though,
I don't know if I like him next week.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if we're still seeing like a missed green from the middle of the fairway, or just a really bad chip shot that runs like 7, 8, 9 feet past, that you just shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Like that's concerning. That's still red flag for me.
Yeah.
But if we can tighten that up a little bit, I think I'm back in. But we'll see. All right. Let's talk about some guys just under. How about Fleetwood, Connors, Cantlay, Hideki, and let's just throw Spieth in there too.
Sure.
Who do you like the best of those 5?
Who do I like best this week and next week? So I would actually say
just this week. Let's just focus.
I would say.
Valero.
All right, so I would say this week I still think Jordan Spieth.
You like
I think
Jordan?
Spieth. He's got a good course history here. He's a wizard around the greens. He just last week his irons were ridiculous on approach, ridiculous. So he's spiking on that, and if he can put putting together with that, coming into form on a place that he loves, like he's the type of guy that will do it. He's played well in March, man. Like other than the players, I think he's played pretty well.
I mean, he's kind of been doing a lot of just Spieth stuff, like some flashes and then some boneheadedness.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but all right, see, let's pull it up. So
that's the ride for him.
He gained almost 8 on approach at Valspar. That's a lot.
What did he finish though? T28.
28.
Okay.
Around the green.
He didn't drive the ball that great.
Nope.
I mean, that's been kind of Spieth this year though. Like that was like he had a great iron performance at Phoenix, and then he just went back into the doghouse for a little bit. Spiked with around the green, and then like the next week, it's like it's the leaky canoe with him again. Yeah. Where this happened, I think, a couple of years ago, where it just seemed like every single week it was like a new problem.
Yeah.
So I can see. I mean, I guess like I can buy into it. I think this week. I personally like Cantlay the best this week, and I know you're going to roll your eyes, but
I just didn't because he stinks.
Okay, but all right, I think this is kind of a stinky golf course, and I just feel like I've seen this movie over and over with Cantlay, where we get to one of these TPC courses that's overseeded, where I don't think there's anything all that special about the place, and he just finds himself on Sunday like T6.
Yeah, he just hangs around like maybe for DFS. I'm not betting him to win. When was the last time he won? Like,
I didn't bet him to win either. I bet him top 10 at plus 225. I'm just very convinced he's going to be like just lingering and just it's a non-competitive T6.
Yeah, I don't hate that take. I don't hate that take. That's fine. The take that he's going to win is just I can't get to it.
Yeah, I mean because
he does have a lot of top 10s and top 20s.
Yeah, he's been hitting it really good with the irons. Yeah. Like this year, he's good. He's a pretty good, out of bunkers, getting up and down. Really good putter on the overseed. Like he hasn't been driving all that great, but he's still gaining a little bit. Good on difficult par 5s. Just crushes these like overseeded TBC courses. So I like him this week, but no, I'm not betting him to win. But I think
it. That's a good number for a top 10.
Yeah, I think. In this field and getting, ready for the Masters, just kind of easing his way into it. I kind of like that. So I bet him top 10 at that number. So, all right, let's go a little deeper between like 25 and 40. You got guys like Keegan and Denny McCarthy, Siwoo Kim, Keith Mitchell, Daniel Berger, Tom Kim, Tony Finau. Let's just limit to that list there. Have you bet any of these guys outright?
No. I was looking at Tom Kim. His irons are just too wonky for me right now.
Wait, that's like the best part of his game.
I know, but I don't trust it. Do you know what I mean? Like I just don't trust him to be. So when I was looking, let me pull it back up. Okay. So yeah, I just don't trust that, man. Like
you don't trust he can sustain this. Basically,
I don't. And I think it was the buckets I was looking at, like with the longer irons, he's not as good. Yeah, so from like 175 to 200, he's pretty low in this field over the last 24. Around the green, he stinks.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the number intrigued me just because I think it's him attached to the name, but he's been dog shit this year. I mean, that's it. He's just been dog shit outside of Pebble. So
yeah, I think I mentioned him at excuse me, I think at Valspar that like we were kind of due for one of these spike Tom Kim weeks. Yeah. And it didn't really play out. Like that's just kind of been what he's been for the last like year.
Yeah, this motherfucker cannot putt.
No, he can't. The putter, but that's the thing. Like when that shows up, combine that with the iron play, obviously that'll work for him. No, I didn't go in that direction. I went the direction of 2 positionals in this range. I bet top 20 on Keegan plus 150. I just like how he's been hitting the ball. It's been really solid. He's been having a lot of solid, good finishes. A couple top 20s and top 10s here already. Putter seems like it's cooperating a little bit with him. So I like, given just where his ball striking numbers are and just the overall talent or lack of talent, I think in this field, then I think a top 20 for him at plus 150 is perfectly reasonable. And then I also went top 20 at Siwoo Kim. This one, I am just going to trust my feel that his course history is really good here. The iron's been kind of slipping a little bit, but just overall this year, he's been hitting it really solid. Tremendous bunker player. He's pretty good on the difficult par 5s as well. Tremendous over 200 and over 250. So, pretty accurate driver. So he's not going to get in too much trouble. Like he kind of fits the profile of like the type of driver that would do well here. I bet him top 20 at plus 175.
Yeah. I don't hate
that. Yep. And then the outright I went to though, the 40 on Daniel Berger at the beginning of the week. I thought, considering how many times he's kind of put himself in the mix on Sunday, how well he's been playing, how well he's been hitting the ball this year. The putter seems to be working for him as well. I thought 40-1 on him was a pretty good number. He's down to, I think the best available number is 35. I think I would still bet that anyways. But that's where I started my card. I mentioned this on Sunday. At the non-signature events, it's been working pretty well for me to just ignore everything under 40-1 and just start at 40 and go from there. So Daniel Berger was a pretty natural place for me to start this week. So that's where I started my card.
That makes sense. And so I think by the time I had a shot at it, I think Hard Rock opened him at 30, 35. And I get every reason why you're going to bet Berger, but I don't know. I just couldn't get there. I just went a little deeper on the board.
Okay. All right.
I got room for him. I mean, I don't hate. I mean, if I'm betting between Berger, Finau, fucking Keith Mitchell, Tom Kim, and Denny, within 7 points of each other at this point for the most part, other than Mitchell and him. So yeah, I guess Berger at 30 is fair. I like that better than Spieth at 20. Keegan at 25 if I could still get it, but I think it's 20 on fucking Hard Rock. So
yeah, Denny also was a finalist this week. He's been hitting the ball so good, and this would play well with your theory that he's really good with the 3-wood on the par 5s.
It's true. I mean, look, he is, but it's just, talk about like the ultimate heartbreak. Fucking 1 year later coming back. Isn't that BK's theory? You can't win if that happens.
Yeah.
So
he's not right about everything. He's right about a lot of things. He might not be right about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll pass on that. But maybe Berger. But Berger's on the list too. I got enough guys on the fucking list.
Okay. All right. Let's move past 40-1. Let's just go back and forth. Let's pick a guy we pick outright and then explain why. So you go first. Who's a guy between like 40 and like 80-1 you've bet to win?
So I bet Gary. So watching him last week, look, it was great to see Woodland back. Was it maybe an emotional bet? Maybe. But he's got a good course history here. I think the last 2 times he played here, he has 2 top 10s. When he putts, he's good. He's a spike iron player, and he could definitely spike with his putter. He's great off the box. He's great with a 3-wood. I mean, he's feeling himself right now. You know what I mean? He said he was exhausted at the end of the round, and the crowd helped push him through. But I mean, this is the best we've seen him play in years, and I'm all about playing good form or a place where he feels good at. So I thought 55 was a perfect number for him. I was happy with it. I bet it immediately Monday morning. That was my first bet. I went looking for Gary.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll just go back and forth here. Look, one of my first bets, I know he's popular this week. Again, kind of a similar vein. I'm just going to keep riding the wave with Bud Cauley at this point at 55-1. Look, kid's just playing solid. Iron numbers look tremendous. He's really good in difficult conditions. Again, not up and down from the from bunkers there. Pretty good success rate. on some difficult par fives. The putter's been working on him. Good overseat putter. You know, the long-term iron numbers from like over 115, over 200 don't look good, but I think that's just older data when he just wasn't playing as good. You know, looking at the last 16 rounds with his overall iron play, it's been tremendous. Relatively decent history, hitting the ball pretty well at TPC San Antonio. Again, it's chalky, but I remember last year, one of the reasons why I bet Akshay was he just was playing really good at the time. And I just trusted that form was going to carry over to Valero, and it did. So I Bud Colley's on my card at 55-1.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he's on my card as well. I think Andy was the first one to bring him up to me, and then he caught a little steam in the Discord, did a little digging on Monday morning. And yeah, everything you said makes sense.
Okay. All right. You go next.
I took
another one.
Yeah, took the number one pick on the board, Lee Hodges. We mentioned him Sunday night, or last week. We were like, hey, what's going on with him? Where's he been? Coming back from an injury. I mean, you can't come back from an injury any better than that. You know what I mean? He gained in every single category. He's got a top 10 here. He played 2 times ago. Pretty much good at everything. He had a great fall swing. Why not? I mean, seriously, when you're looking for a good sign for somebody who's clearly recovered from injury and had good form prior to the injury, I don't know what else you could ask for. He can spike with his putter. He's good with his irons. Yeah, give me Lee Hodges, especially in a field like this. I thought 65 or whatever the hell it was, 60-1 was a really, really good number for a guy who's in good form and might be sneaking up on, or I thought would be sneaking up on people, but now he's the number one tip golfer.
Yeah, it's not great, but no, I also bet him at 75-1 after our conversation. I realized that we probably should go that route. If I'm looking for spike iron, spike putting, you know, he's been doing that multiple times so far earlier this year. That was very encouraging to see him come back strong at Memorial Park. So, I mean, like as soon as I saw 75-1 available, that was kind of a no-brainer. That's given my strategy of I'm starting my card at 40 and working my way up. That's very easy to fit. So I didn't really have to think twice about that. And, you know, I mean, let's just get all the other guys on the tip chart off my play here. Same thing with Ryan Gerard at 80-1. You know, I mean,
same.
I'm worried he's Eric Cole at this point because he just keeps doing, like he gets up towards the top of the leaderboard. He starts making some runs, momentum, and he just does something really stupid for a couple holes. But he keeps just popping up here and like playing some good golf. The iron play has been tremendous. You know, some great putting weeks. He's really bad around the green. Like that's a big concern. But again, for 80-1 with how good he's been hitting the ball and just how often I've seen him just kind of on the first or second page of the leaderboard, like a lot so far this year. You know, eventually I think that's going to land you in contention. So at 80-1, again, that was easy for me to fit on my card. So
yeah,
with that.
Same. I bet him as well. Baroff was on him. I was on him in DFS last week, so I didn't need much convincing. Same thing, 80, great number. Doing the same thing you're doing, just fucking picking a bunch of guys down low with good numbers and hoping we can fatten that bankroll. So I went with Tom Hoge.
Okay, I also did, by the way, but I'll let you.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Love it. I love it. All right,
I'll let you pump his tires though.
Yeah, I mean, he gained almost 10 on approach at Players right now. Obviously, that's a fucking course he loves. He was first round leader there, had the low record there for a little while. He might actually still have it. I don't actually know. He hasn't played this course in a little bit. The last time he played it was T15. You want to talk to somebody who, if he could just fucking putt around the green, worries me a little bit with him. But spike irons in a field like this, like, I mean, the man has won Pebble. What's he doing at 100-1 around some of these bumps? And he played really well in his last event. Yeah, man. I mean, his around the green stinks. His iron game can get fucking volcanic hot, and he can't spike with his putter. And yeah, fuck it, why not? I think I saw 100-1 out there. I got him at 85-1.
Okay, I got him at 110-1.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was really early in the week. I think what's the best number you can find on Tom Hoge right now? It would be, where are you? Data Golf hates him, by the way.
Of course.
You can still get 100-1 on him.
Yeah.
They're on FanDuel. That's still hanging around there. Most places like 90-1, 80-1.
Yeah.
But you can still get 100 on him. That's still out there. You know, I mean, just kind of a lot of the same things you just said. I think the only thing I will add with him is that, even though he's really bad around the green, rates out pretty well out of bunkers in difficult conditions.
Okay.
So that's a plus for him there.
Sweet.
So, okay. All right. Are you out of guys you bet outright at this point?
I forgot I bet one more.
Okay. Why don't I go back up the board? Because there are two guys that are very similar coming in that I bet they're not in the tip charts. So why don't we start talking about guys who are not on the tip chart at this point?
Yeah, no shit.
All right. This is a guy you thought was on the tip chart. I bet JT Poston at 50 to 1. Yeah, the results don't look like screaming like that he's close to winning, but I like him for a couple of reasons. One, at the Players, a couple starts ago, he was T14 heading into the final round and then just had a bad Sunday. I'm willing to forgive that at that point because, there was some wacky weather that was kind of going on over the weekend. But T14 headed into Players in the final round. That was good. Top 30 finished last week at Valspar. One of the things that was really just dragging Poston down for most of this year was, his iron numbers looked tremendous for all season. He could not putt, though. Like, he lost the ability to putt on the greens. Well, the last two tournaments, he's starting to putt really well, and it's on overseed, so that's really encouraging there. And the iron numbers have kind of dipped a little bit, so I'm hoping maybe he can kind of marry the two at this point because he's not that far removed from, like, really good iron play. And I feel like with JT Poston, he's starting to put things together. This is, I think, a good golf course for him as far as his skill sets. And if he can kind of just get the irons back a little bit from where they were, now they start to putt better, I think he can do some damage here. So 50 to 1 on JT Poston. And then also, I dismissed him on the Sunday show when we were going through the odds board. I went back and looked again at Chris Kirk. I kind of liked what I saw out of him. Obviously, he's got the good course history, but his putter also has been starting to heat up a little bit. The irons have been starting to heat up a little bit too, so that's encouraging. He also, I think, was T16 heading into the final round of the Players, and then had a horrible Sunday for whatever reason. I think a lot of these late guys that went just had bad Sundays at that day. So I think his form is kind of close. He's obviously had a lot of success here. I got him at 90 to 1. And I thought that was good for a guy that I know can win, who has been good here, that I feel like is starting to put things together a little better. So those are two guys I liked this week.
Yeah, so I like that. So I looked around. So I didn't think about him on Sunday at the Players because he was fucking around with first round leader on Thursday. He was playing really good on Thursday. Lost a little bit around the green, then got squirrely off the tee. We can blame that on the wind, right? On the 22nd API. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't hate that. What's he done in Texas? Is he a good Texas player?
He's been really good here.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. The Valero.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I might have to get back down on Kirk.
Okay. All right. Another guy I'm on that's a loser, but he's starting to play better.
Okay.
Eric Cole's starting to play some good golf again.
Come on, let's go. That's the other guy I bet.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Okay, then I'll let you go. I've been just doing a lot of talking. Why do you like Eric Cole this week?
So look, he's had two really good performances, man, and nobody's really talking about him. And he's not doing it in Florida, right? We've all been waiting for him to finally get that first win because he grinded on the mini tour in Florida. He's a Florida player, blah blah blah. But shit, man, where did he go? There it is. Look, spike irons, he can absolutely do it. He definitely putts well off the tee if it's mitigated here. Then I'm fine with that. He's been a lot better off the tee. That's what was killing him when he wasn't doing well. He was fucking spraying it everywhere. Tee to green, rock solid, like 2 top 15s. The guy we've betting for a long time, spike putt, spike iron. If Denny McCarthy can fucking come in second here, Eric Cole can come in second here.
Yeah, that's the last two starts have been really encouraging. The fact that I could find a guy 110 to 1 that has some name power behind him, that has been in the mix he hasn't come through, but he's been in the mix for a lot of wins and a lot of Sundays for the last couple of years. I can find that 110 to 1 on a golf course that I think if he's hitting the ball still pretty well and those irons continue to trend up, I thought that was a great number for him this week.
And his top 20, I'm sure you're getting him +4, but
I don't think I even bet him top
20.
I don't think I even bet him top 20, but that's, I think, one to consider.
Yeah.
So
plus 375 is what I got him at. So that means you got him at 450 probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, my positional cards are already full, but
Gotcha.
that's fine for me. And then one other guy I bet positional down here. Thought about and I mentioned him on the tip chart. I thought about betting Isaiah Salinda for an outright.
Okay.
Did not get there, but I bet him top 40 plus 165. I just like how the guy has been playing. You know, the iron's been looking pretty good the last couple starts. You know, good bunker player, driving it pretty good on difficult par fives. So I just like the guy's upside. So I thought, you know, getting plus 165 for a top 40 for a guy who I believe is talented was pretty good. And then I bet outright, and I bet top 40 on Ryo Hisatsuni.
Let's go.
And 170
we talked about him. Did we talk about him on Sunday night? Or we talk about him texted back and forth. I
tried to shoehorn him into the show, and you kind of like blew past it. But you know, he came fourth at Valspar a couple weeks ago, hitting the ball really good, started putt pretty good. You know, he's a young player, so I feel like he's got a little bit of an untapped ceiling that maybe he could tap his potential into. I just like I've been playing. Good bunker player as well. That was important for me this week, just seeing him do really well in those difficult bunker conditions. Yep. So Ryo Hisatsuni 170-1. That was the last guy on my card.
So he was the last guy on my card at 150.
Hey, all right. There we go.
So I have a deep positional, and I got some boring positionals, but I'll give you one of the deep positionals. The rest of my card, I'll put the rest of the shit on. But Chan Kim, played well here last year. Irons are trending in the right direction. Good around the green. Yeah, man, it just kind of feels like he's coming in the right spot. This seems like he kind of likes this type of course. So at 4-1 for a top 20, I feel like he's got talent, and it could be the DFS brain bleeding over too. So always couch it with that too. And first round leader, I'm waiting to find out about this fucking wind.
Do you want you know what? I'll tell you offline my take.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not convinced that either that wind that they're projecting is coming, and I'm also not convinced that the afternoon wave just can play in dome conditions. I think there's a lot of turbulence with that forecast. Yeah. Based on what it is and what's going to happen. That forecast could change pretty dramatically the next 24 hours. So,
yep, exactly. Sorry, I'm not fucking around until I get closer for first round leader anyway.
All right. Are we all done with Valero?
That's it, baby. We're on to LIV Miami.
First time we talk about LIV in about a month, because they're finally stateside. They're not competing against Bay Hill. They're not competing against the players. They're finally doing what they should be doing and trying to pick against a lower tier PG Tour event. Yeah. Yep. Let me ask you a question. So I said this earlier. Are you going to be focusing mostly on LIV this week, or are you still going to mostly watch Valero?
I mean, honestly, it'll depend, right? Like if I have sweats on the PGA, I'll pay attention to that with LIV in the background. If I don't have any sweats, then I'll be paying attention to LIV with PGA in the background.
Okay. Honest. All right.
And LIV does a great fucking recap anyway. So if I miss shit, I can go on YouTube and watch what happened in the entire day in a half hour.
Okay. All right. So like I said earlier, my attention's going to be mostly on LIV this week. It's not because I think it's a superior product. It has nothing to do with it. No. This is because I feel like I need to eat my broccoli before I get my dessert in the Masters next week. And these guys have been playing on the other side of the world for a couple months. Haven't seen a lot of visibility on them. This is the first time, unless you are a psychopath and stay up really late, or get up really early, to actually get your eyeballs on these guys and how they're doing at the Masters. Because look, Rahm and Neiman and Koepka and Bryson and Hatton,
Phil, for God's sake,
even Phil's playing pretty good. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are like Dean Burmester. Is Burmester's in the field, right? Is he not?
Masters?
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, there's a lot of guys who could do some damage here. Patrick Reed, even. Like, there's a lot of guys who could do very well next week. And I feel like if you just blow off this event and not watch it, you might not realize what they're doing. You might, maybe this will help you a little bit next week. I think these guys should be considered. at Augusta. So this would be an opportunity. Just no matter what you think about this tour, just eat your vegetables, watch it, see what they're doing. Just watch on Sunday, for God's sakes. All right, just see what what's going on, and then you will be prepared to know and accurately kind of have takes about Augusta next week, because that would be a big missing piece if you didn't. So that's why I'm going to be watching most of it. Like, I don't need to see Corey Connors for the 7th time this year, or Tommy Fleetwood for the 9th time. Like, nothing is going to happen. Really, Valero is going to change my opinion of any of those guys. Like, it might at Miami.
Yeah.
So, and like, I mean, even though I'm not the biggest fan of this golf course, you know, it is a tough track, and these guys are going to have to hit some big boy golf, golf shots. So, why don't we get right to it? Let me share my screen here. And here we go. This is Doral, the Blue Monster. So this was a golf resort founded in 1962, by real estate pioneer Alfred Kiskell. And I teased last night about how this Doral got its name. Now, you thought it was the cigarettes.
That's it.
That's a good guess.
Right.
That's not the case. So Alfred had a wife whose name was Doris. And Doral is the combination of Doris, and Al. So,
it's terrible.
Nice creative naming there. So
was that Bettifer from back in the day?
Basically. So the Blue Monster that was designed by Dick Wilson. Do you know what other golf course in the PGA Tour that Dick Wilson designed?
I don't know that.
Okay. Bay Hill.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And
Makes
based
sense.
on, this golf course here, and all this,
makes sense.
next slide here. Look at all this water.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very much like Bay Hill. It is long, a lot of water, Bermuda rough here, a lot of opportunity to just, accrue a lot of penalty strokes. And it's happened over the years. So this was host of the Doral Open from 1962 to 2006. Later, the WGC Cadillac Championship from 2007 to 2016. Some notable winners of the WGC Cadillac. The last one was Adam Scott in 2016. Dustin Johnson won in 2015. Patrick Reed won in 2014. Do you remember what Patrick Reed said after that 2014 win at Doral?
No.
He said that he was a top 5 player in the world, and everybody laughed at him. And that is the day that Patrick Reed started to put in his little black book who his enemies were and who he wanted to kill and sue, actually, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But Tiger Woods has won here 4 times. Shocker. This is a golf course where you gotta hit the ball really straight and really good. So, of course, Tiger Woods would win here 4 times. Also, who's won here, and this is kind of a running joke based on the schedule from last year, Greg Norman has won here 3 times. So basically, every golf course in the PGA on LIV is like either a golf course Greg Norman designed or he won at.
Yep.
That's just how it is, this place. So it hosted a lot of tournaments, but in the early 2010s, in 2011, it started to undergo some financial difficulty, and it declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And in 2012, it was purchased by a man who is definitely no stranger to bankruptcies, Donald Trump. And he changed the name to Trump Doral. He began a $250 million renovation into the resort in 2013. And that was finished in 2016. So as in part of the big renovation of this place, they brought in Gil Hance to basically lengthen it, redo some of the bunkers. Funny enough, I don't think Hance really gives himself credit for the work that's done here. I don't know if he doesn't want to be associated with it, but he did do a lot of this. So the big problem though with this play, not the big problem, but when Trump first ran in 2016, he said some not so sensitive things about immigrants, and this didn't sit well with the apparently woke PGA Tour, all those kale eating libs working at Ponte Vedra. So, they're like, no, we definitely can't have this, shame on you. And in the most troll move possible, they took this tournament and they moved it to Mexico. I thought that was great. Just a great troll at that point.
Yep.
So it became the WC Mexico. So Doral was no longer on the schedule until LIV Golf brought it back in 2022. It was the site of the season-ending team championship. And then last year, it was officially part of the regular season. So it's a par 72, 7,700 yards. Obviously, the Blue Monster, Bermuda grass and Bermuda greens as well. Now, they can grow the rough pretty thick here. But I was watching the video last year. They definitely did not grow the rough all that high. I think it was maybe 2 inches or so. Maybe they did that because there wasn't going to be a lot of rough at Augusta. But, I mean, this place could have played a lot tougher if they grew the rough up, and they just didn't. Yeah. So I mentioned Bay Hill. You know, this is the 10th hole here. I mean, this looks exactly like number 6
it really
at
does.
Bay Hill.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the tee shot is pretty much identical. You got to hit it over the water here. If you want to cut off, you know, shorten the hole a little more, you try and cut off the, you know, more of the hole as possible by hitting a little more left here. Shorter hitters got to hit it dead straight, and they have a long approach shot near the green. I mean, it looks exactly like number 6 at Bay Hill. Here's number 16. This is a drivable par 4 if they got the wind at their back. You know, I mean, this is an exciting hole coming down the stretch. You have water all the way to the left here, and this is a good opportunity to maybe get some birdie. Or get a birdie here coming down the stretch. You know, most guys, if you're trying to drive to the green, you know, we're getting in one of these bunkers over here. If you're like Abe Answer, you were laying up, hitting an iron out here and having a wedge in. So, but you know, this, you know, with the water on this hole and the ability to try and get another birdie, you know, down the stretch, you know, this is gonna be kind of an exciting hole. And then number 18, you know, this is a tough hole. You got water all the way down the left here. It's a 470-yard par 4. You know, water completely green side as well. This hole usually plays into the prevailing wind as well. So this is a really tough approach shot. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of holes are just like this over and over and over. Just don't hit in the water. Really tough demanding tee shots, tough demanding approach shots. You know, if the wind is up and the greens are firm, you know, the greens can be pretty slippery to, you know, to navigate around. So, yeah, that's Doral.
That's a nice little preview.
So, this is this is the leaderboard from last year, by the way. So Dean Burmester won at 11 under.
Daddy Wolf.
So here's the thing. So LIV is putting out the strokes gain stats. I got this all from Data Golf at this point.
Yeah.
Matthew Wolf apparently gained 2.8 strokes per round off the tee. And it's because, you know, so this isn't all drives, just their measure drives. But apparently to them, that he averaged 330 off the box and hit 71% of his fairways. And that, my friend, is how you gain 2.8 strokes per round off the tee at Doral. So, but yes, I agree with this guy, by the way. Matt Who. Yes, he is terrible now. It's a shame. Considering how talented he was and how he almost won the U.S. Open. He did really well at TPC Harding Park as well. It is a shame, I think, that he squandered a lot of his talent, in my personal opinion.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
But hey, he got paid, and apparently he's a good dog dad, and I hope he's happy. So, but just, I mean, look at a lot of this leaderboard. Like, obviously, there's a lot of length in this leaderboard. You know, Burmester and Wolf and Rahm and Bryce and Thomas Peters, Joaquin Neiman. You know, I think that's probably the big stereotype of this place. Just, you know, a bunch of bombers. But, you know, you got Patrick Reed here, just pretty good on tough, demanding, long golf courses. You got Louis. Basically, he did all with the putter, though. Last year, you know, Terrell Haddon doesn't have as much length off the tee. He hit only 31% of his fairways, by the way, but
it's crazy. Just
a great iron week, a putting week.
They played good at Augusta for the first time fucking in his goddamn career last year.
You got Abraham Answer also on here too. So, I mean, you know, if you're like a Sergio or like an Answer, like if you just have really a ball striking week, you know, just keep it out of trouble, you can definitely find some success here, especially because they kind of watered this place down, especially with the rough. But overall, though, I mean, you know, most of the guys who have been winning on Doral have a bunch of length and big bombers. Like, if you even go back to like the PGA Tour, where like distance weighed more heavily in strokes gain off the tee than like any other golf course at Doral, you know, so that's pretty important. So that's kind of what I just looked for this week. Guys were driving it really good, at least this year, in the last couple tournaments. That's, good iron play. I'm just kind of looking at numbers. And I got to say, too, is like with my live cards, I kind of just bet who I want to bet. I don't really worry too much about the ROI stuff. Like the PGA Tour stuff, I definitely bean count. This one, look, like there's 13 a year that I actually bet. And, I'm not betting my full unit size on this either. It's kind of just have some stuff to, have a sweat, while I have to hate watch this thing at least. So, there's that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of this and let's start talking about the odds board here.
Yep.
So let me get out of here.
I gotta pull it up on my phone because I don't have it on.
All right. So top of the board, you got 7-1 Neiman, like 7-1 John Rahm.
Yeah, good.
You sing a bull in any of those guys?
No.
No. Okay. Good. Great analysis.
I mean, here's the deal. Like, first of all, like, I don't know. Like, I don't do that anyway. I'm certainly not doing that here, where water does come into play and it can be slightly volatile. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's off by a little bit, I'm not betting the 7-1 guy. I'm just not.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna do my gravy train. I saw -155 on top 10 for John Rahm, and that's just been hitting over and over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
So I bet that
180 John Rahm.
I mean, it literally hasn't failed yet. So and he's been driving a great. The iron play has been a little the iron play has been concerning for Rahm, but the fact he just drives is so good. Like, I don't really have a ton of concerns this week. So I have bet, but that's my John Rahm exposure. It's just that.
Gotcha.
Also, a lot of people are betting Sergio. I only went with the top 10 at +115, but he's been hitting the ball really good, like driving it really good. The combination of length and accuracy, the iron numbers look great too. Second place last year. Like, this is just, if the ball striking numbers continue for him ahead of the Masters, like I think a top 10 is definitely reasonable given how he's looked on LIV.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I bet that for a top 10. And then I also bet a top 10 on Sebastian Munoz. I think he's just been playing really good. He doesn't have the length, but he's still driving it really good, hitting a lot of fairways. The iron play on Sebastian Munoz has been tremendous pretty much all year long. And it's not just on LIV, but it also been on, a couple Asian Tour events as well. He's been playing pretty well, 5th at Singapore, 6th at Hong Kong, 2nd at Riyadh, 14th at Macau, 2nd at DFL, a couple that really tough golf course that they just played last weekend that Chikara just won at.
Yeah.
So plus 225 for a top 10 for a guy just hitting it really good. I like that. So
that
was my positionals.
Yeah.
How about who you actually bet to win?
So I would bet anybody yet because I was looking at Sergio and he was fucking 14. Puig 17, fucking Burmeister is 16. Like,
all right. Well, I bet David Puig.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet him at 20-1. I mean, it fits the profile of just a big bomber.
I feel like I almost have to bet him because
the iron play has been really good. 4th at Singapore, 4th at Adelaide, 6th at Riyadh, 3rd at the Ras Al Khaimah, 4th at the Bahrain Championship. Like he's 23. I think maybe I'm just getting sucked into the fact that seems like he's starting to hit his ceiling.
Yeah.
A lot of talent, a lot of length. So I thought, he didn't play well here last year, but he's just a more volatile player. Mm-hmm. I think if he's starting to hit that ceiling, I want to be in on him. So I bet him 20-1.
Okay.
I also bet your boy of the year, Lucas Herbert.
I knew it. As I said, I knew it was going to be the year because I was looking at him too. Long fucking numbers looked all right.
Yeah, he's been driving it great this year.
Yeah.
I miss the iron play's been a little up and down, but he's got a couple spike weeks. But if he's just driving it really good, I think that's
he can putt.
Yeah, and that can definitely play here. 8th at Macau, 4th at Hong Kong, 4th at Riyadh, 5th at the Australian Open, 14th at Singapore. Just some solid results this year for Lucas Herbert. I know he can win tournaments. So I bet him at 33-1.
Nice.
Dirt McGirt mentioned HV3. Not on the betting card because I was hoping to get maybe a better top 20 number, but he's been playing good. Ball striking numbers actually look pretty good on HV3 so far. At least as long as these strokes gain numbers are actually right, because who the hell knows? But no, I mean, like he's had a lot of top 20s this year. Seems like he's driving it pretty good. The iron numbers look good. So I don't hate that for HV3 this week. But the guy I couldn't not have on my card, and this I know I'm stretching the ROI. I get it. I only have a 6x return. Shoot me. Sorry. I've just seen enough of Brooks before a major, especially on LIV. Just doing really good the week before. He's won a lot on LIV, and a lot of it has just kind of come out of nowhere. And you and I just know with him that when there's something on the line, it's time to lock in. That's when he starts doing his thing. And like he's had some good, it's not like he's coming in with zero form. He came in second in Singapore, fourth at Adelaide. So he's been doing a little bit of damage. Did not play well here last year. And that was, I think, a good litmus test to say, like, all right, you're just not ready for the Masters. I think it's going to be different this year. Obviously, that's his white whale. That's the one I think he wants the most. And I think he's going to be locked in this week. And he was 18-1. Sure, I'll take that. For a guy I genuinely
18-1, that's a good number for him.
Yeah, for a guy I genuinely like and want to root for. So, sorry, I stretched my outright card. It's LIV, and I need an excuse to have fun watching it. And backing Brooks is the way to do that.
Yeah, I like it. And then you're hoping that you see something so you can bet him.
I'm actually not because I don't want to. I don't want to have to get put into a corner of like I have to bet Brooks next week. But I wouldn't hate it. I would love to see him win a green jacket. I think that would be tremendous. I know a lot of people don't like Brooks. I have been a Brooks fan for a long time.
Long time.
And I think that would be great if he won the green jacket. So, yeah, obviously showing some form this week and then translating next week would be great.
Love it. All right. You got anything else?
No, that's it. We kept it under an hour.
We did. And don't forget, we are running our only promotion of the year, Masters Month, to get 25% off the monthly membership over at ISN or Masters Year to get it off the annual, 25% off the annual. Either way, you can't go wrong. Come join the club. It's a fun place to be. Discord's always going off. Lots of sharp guys, lots of good info. And it's Masters Week, man. Let's fatten these wallets before we go. We go to Augusta, and we'll have two people on the ground there next week. So hopefully we'll get some solid intel coming in on Tuesday, Wednesday night, how everything's playing, how people are looking. But best of luck to everybody. Let's break those fucking books.